Hey, this is Wendy B, and I'm a coach getting unstuck. And I am a solution coach and a motivational speaker, an author, and a podcaster. I have delivered and coached to thousands of people over the last 40 years. And I have done numerous presentations to organizations, businesses, and youth organizations. This is my first live by myself, so I'm a bit nervous, wrote some stuff, and I'm sure I'll get better later. I have just written my second book, Getting Unstuck, 30 Ways to Bring Clarity, Freedom, and Power, and it will be launched this year. And I believe ordinary people become extraordinary people through the adversity they have lived through and who they've become. And it's not only that, it's who they've become regardless of their circumstances. You know, anybody, life can work when life is working. Like, it's really easy to have life work when things are going lickety-boo. But how would you like freedom and power when the circumstances are ugh and you can still thrive? And that's what my coaching is about. I believe that you have the ability to get unstuck and thrive regardless of what's going on. You will get coached on solutions, how to discover limiting beliefs you have that create barriers for you in the areas that are important to you, in the areas that you're dealing with, and that are important to you. One limiting belief that I have is, it's I'm not smart enough, and it pops up. I'm in my 60s, and even though I've distinguished I'm not smart enough for years, it's sneaky. It shows up. It'll show up like confusion, or uncertainty, or I won't make a quick decision. And that's where my not smart enough shows up. What's neat is I can either listen to it or I can create newly. But first I have to distinguish that it's there. And, because I never knew that was there. I mean, I have high school, college, university. I've successfully started and sold 6 businesses. So it didn't look like I'm not smart enough was there, but I promise you it is. And it started, when I started doing the work on myself in that area, it was an incident when I was in grade 4, and I was held back from, I was in a classroom grade 2, 3, and 4, and my twin was in grade 2, and they didn't discuss with me in those days, they didn't discuss things with kids, but they decided to put my brother into grade 3 and hold me back grade 4, and thought that would help my brother. But what it did to me was, it didn't and I had passing marks. I discussed this with my parents, as an adult, but I had passing marks. So it was like, I'm not smart enough. They didn't put me into grade 5. And that decision has affected me everywhere. Now, I'm not blaming my parents, but something happens to us. We make a decision, and then it becomes a belief, and then our actions are a correlate to that belief. And we don't even realize it's a belief because we believe it's a truth. And it can limit me. And it shows up when I'm trying to learn something new, like doing this Facebook Live. I've spent a lot of wasted time being afraid to get on Facebook Live today because, I'm not smart enough. And but the good thing is I'm on it regardless. You can have that there and still walk through it. And it shows up when I'm learning computers. I'm in a course with Sherry Lee, and learning about Facebook marketing, etc. And my computer crashed. And so I'm a couple of weeks behind on the course. The course is only 4 weeks. But the good thing is that I don't have to stop. I can ask for help. And the one thing I know about myself is that I'm actually pretty clever, and that even if I don't get it the first time or the second time or even the third time, I will get it if I'm persistent. So, and it showed up. I was listening to a podcaster. I was in my late 50s, and I was listening to a podcaster because I had to reinvent my whole life again. My former husband and I had split, and it was not a nice situation. And we had 3 businesses together in a house, and I ended up with nothing for a few years. And I heard this podcaster, and I thought, you know what? I could create a podcast, Thriving at 60, and inspire people. And so I did. And now I'm in 30 different countries, and I have over 23,000 followers. And if I had listened to I'm Not Smart Enough, in fact, when I took the course, I asked the man, Sam Crowley, if someone wasn't computer savvy, could they do that? And he said, oh yeah, but for me that wasn't true. I actually had to ask permission of Sam if I could bring a friend to the online course, because I did not understand simple things that he was talking about. And you know, and he said, I remember him saying, do 100 videos, or that's Facebook Live. I'm confusing the two, a Facebook Live and podcast. He said, do 100 podcasts, and then start, you know, being strategic, but just get out there and do 100, take 100 days or whatever and do 100. And, you know, I almost stopped because I had a couple of friends who listened to the podcast and were giving me some feedback, and I almost stopped because of that feedback. And then I went, no, you know, I'm not good at grammar, so sometimes my posts are not grammatically correct. Oh well. Sometimes my speaking, you know, I can't think of something, but I didn't stop. And now I'm, like I say, I'm in 30 different countries, and have over 23,000 followers, and I'm making a difference. You know, I had to ask myself, if I don't make any money doing these podcasts, would I still do them? And I said, yes, I would, because I wanted to inspire people who were starting over again, that they could, no matter what their circumstances were, that they could move forward. And so now I intend to start a new podcast, Getting Unstuck with Wendy B, because my coach, and I really believe this, if you are a coach, you should have a coach, because you're either expanding or retracting, and you can't expand unless you have a coach that is higher, doing something bigger than you can do, so that they can coach you. Anyways, my coach said to me, Wendy, your thriving at 60 is limited. It's a limit because people think they have to be in their 50s or 60s to listen to your podcast. You should create a podcast where it's open to everybody. And I thought, yeah, that's right, because I coach teens. I do some volunteer work and some work in group homes. And I coach teens. I coach people in their 30s, their 40s. And so that's why I'm starting Getting Unstuck. I don't have a website yet. I will. This is all new to me. My coaching has been referred to me. So all my clients have been referred to me. And so now I'm learning how to market myself. So I'm learning to do Facebook Live, and I'm learning how to do Facebook itself. So how many of you would like to be unstoppable? Well, like my page, comment on it, and you can just say unstoppable with the comment, and then share with your friends. And if you do that, I will give you a free 15-minute coaching session. And just go to Getting Unstuck with Wendy B, and there's a button on Facebook. There's a button I'm learning on, and it'll have my phone number, and you can call me and we can set up a free time. And if you want to email me at wendyb@gettingunstuck.net. So there you go. Thank you for being on this Facebook Live and listening to me, and hopefully I can give you some value. And I will be on Facebook Live at noon every Sunday for a few minutes, trying to give you some tools so that you can get unstuck. Thank you. Bye now.